Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Facebook Live. It is August 24th, 2024. It is 8/24/24. Thank you so much for being here and for joining me. I want to start off with just a couple of quick announcements, and then we're going to jump right into today's content. If you have not gotten your ticket for Internet Mastery Live 2025 in either March or in August, you might want to start making your preparations now. Put the dates in your calendar and commit to being there. Get yourself a ticket and put your focus on achieving incredible results between now and those amazing events. The second thing that I want to mention is that I'm doing some final touches on two upcoming events. The first is going to be a one-day Zoom like we did back in May. And we'll invite everybody. It'll be a small ticket price to attend. It'll be a 6-hour train-a-thon, if you want to call it that. It'll be really insightful, I think, with some new updates that are very timely and important things to consider. So I'll post the link to get your tickets for that. And in addition, I've had at least 10 or 12 people ask me if we're going to host an AI event in Boca in the fall, and I've decided to do that. I've not finalized the date yet, so I'll do that this weekend, and then I'll post the link in this Facebook group so you can get your tickets. It'll be limited to 12 people. We do have a very limited availability for these types of events since we do them at the office. You get a chance to see the headquarters, you get a chance to see the prep center, what's happening, and then of course some amazing AI content. A lot of times people that have been to the previous AI events want to make sure that they attend all of them because what we did in May literally has changed so much that it's almost unrecognizable. That's how fast AI is changing. So if you've never been to an AI event, this is a great opportunity for you to learn about all things AI related, including how it impacts your Amazon business. And then on top of that, the ability to learn some of the writing skills, Kindle and KDP and all of that. So they're going to be announced. The announcements for these events will be posted in Facebook with the links. And I want to encourage you when they are posted to get your tickets, particularly for the event in Boca if you're planning on joining us. That'll be a 2-day event. It's a midweek event. And again, I'll have that finalized. So today, I want to talk with you about a very important topic. I think in most cases, people, as they're planning their business, don't plan far enough in advance. And so when I say things like book your tickets for IM Live 2025, you say, well, it's not till March, it's not till August. Why do I want to get my ticket now? Because when you put it in the calendar, it becomes real. It's not reality if you don't have a ticket. It's not reality if you don't know with certainty that you're coming. And you don't want to base it on how you're doing. Oh, if I'm doing really well, then I'll go. If I'm struggling, then I won't attend. The more you plant those seeds, the more success you're going to have. I want you to think for a moment about corn. I don't know if anybody's ever been to a farm or seen what happens with corn. But when you plant seeds to grow corn, it takes at least 4 to 6 months for a crop. Now, there are times where you'll plant seeds and the crop will be bad, and then it's 10 to 12 months before you get that corn. You can't watch the seeds grow. You need to trust in the process. If you plant them, you will get the results at some point, and it's the same with this business. So it's very important to understand what's happening and where we are time-wise in the calendar. Today is August 24th. You say, well, Christmas is not for 4 months from now. I get it, but you don't have 4 months. You don't even have 3 months. In fact, I don't even think you have 2 months to prepare properly. Let me go ahead and show you what I mean. And what we want to do is work backwards in this process. So let's take a quick peek and see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Today is 8/24. Now let's talk about the first important deadline that you need to be conscious of, which is 10/19. 10/19 is the date that your products are required to be checked in at Amazon in order for your items to be guaranteed to be eligible for Black Friday. Now, the fourth quarter always started for years on Black Friday. There were Thanksgiving, US Thanksgiving, it kind of kicked off then, but really kicked into gear on the Black Friday day. Well, a couple of years ago, Amazon announced that they were going to hold a secondary Prime Day in October of each year. Now, they haven't announced the date yet, but there will be a Prime Day in October. So if you want your items to be eligible for Prime Day, which is a mini spike, but what it does is it kicks off the holiday season. It ramps it up just a little bit. Not quite Black Friday and holidays, but it ramps it up. So if you're wanting to participate in those deals for Prime Day and you want to be eligible, then your items have to be at Amazon literally almost any day. When you get into the holidays, if this is your first time doing this, you need to understand that Amazon's time frame from when they receive your items until when those items are actually, hang on for me one sec, available for sale, that window of opportunity grows. So what I mean by that is, let's say that we sent in items today and they arrived at Amazon on August 30th. They might be available for sale 2 or 3 or 4 days later, September 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. But when you get into the busy season, Amazon can take weeks and weeks and weeks from the time they receive your inventory until the time they make it available. So when you take a look at the date, what we can see is that even though we know that Black Friday is at the end of November, the cutoff date for your items to arrive at Amazon is the 19th of October. The 19th of October. So this is going to give Amazon 4 to 5 weeks to get your inventory sorted to make it available for the holiday. Now, if today is the 24th, let's talk about what's realistic and how little time you actually have. We have 7 days in August. 7 days in August. We have 30 days in September. And we have 19 days in October. So this means that we have a total of 56 days between now and the time limit of when your items need to arrive at an Amazon warehouse, at an Amazon fulfillment center. You have 56 days. So what has to happen? Well, a couple of more important things you have to factor in. Number one, when you place your order, how long is it going to take to arrive at the prep center? Let's say you're sending everything to the prep center in this example. It could be to your house, it could be wherever. I'll just use the prep center as an example. If you're buying retail, all retailers ship within a day, and so it could arrive in 5 to 7 days. It's usually faster than that, but let's call it 5 to 7 days. If you're ordering from a wholesaler, they might not ship for a week or two, and it might take a week or two to arrive. So let's work backwards. If we know that your items have to arrive at an Amazon fulfillment center by October 19th, that means that those items should leave the prep center no later than 10/12. That's leave the prep center or your house or wherever it's shipping from. 10/12. Now, if it takes let's go back. If it takes 3 to 5 business days for the prep center to prep your items, 3 to 5 business days, That's 7 days total at the high end. That means that your items have to arrive at the prep center by October 5th. That means that if your items take 5 days to arrive at the prep center, okay, let me fix this up here. That's not to arrive. That's to arrive at the prep center. Arrive at the prep center. Okay, that means you need to place your order no later than 9:30 if you are buying from a retailer. If you're buying from a wholesaler, that window is even shorter. What does that mean? It means that you don't have 56 days. You have 7 days in August and 30 days in September. You have a grand total of 37 days to get all of your guaranteed inventory to be available for Black Friday into Amazon. 37 days. And you need to ask yourself, what are you going to do to maximize those 37 days? Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't send inventory in continuously, because you should. It doesn't mean it won't be available for the holidays. It just means it's not guaranteed. And remember, these dates are for Black Friday. Christmas is 30 days after. So I would guess that for Christmas, it's going to be sometime around the first week of November. It might be a little bit off, a day or two either way, but if you plan on the Christmas, the first week of November, you might be in good shape there. Either way, there's almost no time. So the question is, what are you doing with your days right now to prepare for the holidays? Most of you that have never been through a Q4 have no idea what's coming. And here's the thing. When I talk to people about their preparations for the holidays, one of the things that everybody's concerned about is buying too much inventory. Well, that's actually the opposite of what you should be worried about. If you buy the right inventory, then that inventory will sell. Your big issue is not buying too much inventory. Your issue is not buying enough inventory. Why is that? Because what happens if your inventory sells out the first week in December? You can't replenish that inventory in time to be guaranteed for Christmas. So I want to put you in the mindset of a retailer, a very successful retailer. They always have too much inventory, always. How do we know that? Because every year, come the end of December or January, they have their 80 to 90% clearance blowout sales. Now, one of the beautiful things about the holidays is that, and we're starting to see it already, is that all the major retailers are putting items on sale, clearance, and closeout because they're trying to get ahead of the rush. So from a retail arbitrage perspective, we are coming into the best time of the year for pricing when it comes to product sourcing. And a lot of what we're going to be buying in the fall is going to be inventory that we're going to sell in January and February. So that's a very important distinction to keep in mind when you're buying. So one of the things that I think is another challenge that people have is knowing how much to buy. Again, we're afraid if we buy too much that we might be stuck with inventory. If you're utilizing the repricer and you're buying the inventory and sending it in and doing it as you're supposed to, you won't have an issue of selling too much or not selling enough. You'll have an issue of running out. And it's always better to have inventory during the busy season. It's an awful feeling. I know you want to experience it once so you can know what it feels like to be sold out. I get it. But it's not a good feeling to know that people are buying what you're selling, just not from you. So how do you determine how many to buy? Well, what you want to look at is the data that Spy Rivals provides for you. And let me show you an example of what I'm referring to. Let's say that Spy Rivals says and we're on August 24th. Let's just call it 9/1, okay? So on 9/1, SPY Rival says you can sell 12 units for the month. In the next 15 to 45 days, you're going to sell 12 units. Now, what you're going to find is that the biggest challenge with retail arbitrage, by the way, is not what everybody thinks it is. It's not about getting ungated or having invoices or finding profitable products. The biggest challenge with retail arbitrage is being able to buy enough inventory. That's the biggest challenge, right? The retailer only lets you buy 5, or the retailer only has 7 in stock and you want to buy 10. That's your big challenge. And that's a much better challenge, by the way, than not having anything to sell. So let's say that SPY Rival says you're going to sell 12. Well, let's say that you want to buy enough for the holidays. So maybe you'll buy 24 units. Well, in the month of September, you sell 12. In the month of October, you sell 12. Now you're out. Now it's too late to get more in. That's a problem. Now, let's say that you're selling 12 in September and 12 in October. Here's what you need to understand. You're going to sell 15 in November and you're going to sell 20 in December. Why? Because sales go up during the holidays. That's the fourth quarter. That's the piece you may or may not have experienced before. And so it becomes a skill of knowing how much inventory to buy. Yes, it's not the perfect scenario because you'll have a little bit of inventory on hand. But if you take this approach where you add, say, let's 20% to November and then 50%, it's not exactly based on my numbers here, but pretty close, 20% to November and 50% to December on what you're selling in September and October, this gives you a gauge of how many to buy. Now, if you're not buying the inventory till September 15th or September 20th, which you're still in the game in terms of getting the inventory to the prep center and then to Amazon, then you'd want to lower your numbers a little bit because you wouldn't have September to take advantage of. It would be more of October than November and December. But the key to all of this is to be buying more inventory than you think you can sell. Now, if SPY Rival says you're going to sell 3 a month, don't buy 100. Like, you don't have to go crazy. You don't want to be totally unrealistic. But I think people that are new, that have not sold a lot, are a little gun shy about buying too much. They're really afraid. Well, think about it. There's a lot of things to be afraid of in life. How is buying too much inventory about scaring you? Why are you afraid? Maybe you're afraid that it won't all sell. Okay, so how is that gonna, no one dies because they don't sell all their inventory. So if you have to liquidate it or blow it out and you lose 5 or 10%, just think about that. If you bought, here, let me just show you again another math example. Let's say for a moment that you bought 20 of an item. You bought 20 of an item, okay? So you buy 20 and you sell out by 12/1. So now for the next 30 days, you sell 0. You with me? Now let's just say for another moment that you bought 100 and you only sold 75. 75 is all you sold. So now you have 25 left over that are unsold. Well, if you make 20% profit on these and you lose even as much as 10% by blowing it out on those, are you ahead or behind than only buying 20? You're way ahead, because in my example, we've sold 55 more at 20% profit, even if we've lost 10% on 25 of them. Our net return is significantly greater than if we only bought 20. And I'm not talking about 20 of one item. I'm talking about 20 items or 20 units, let's say. It could be 5 units of 4 different items. I'm just giving you a big number. It's not necessarily all the same item, but the concept is the same. Buy more, buy inventory, send it in. 100% of the items you don't send in can't be sold. So if you're going through this process and you're planning properly, then you come away from the holidays with an aha, which is, I wish I had more money to buy more inventory, and next year is going to be that much better. Now, one of the benefits of coming to internetmastery.live in March, even though you might not buy a lot from wholesalers in March when you attend the ASD show, you create relationships with wholesalers, and now you have time to plan and prepare. So you're not waiting all the way until August to buy your wholesale inventory for the holidays. You have to think bigger in order to grow your business. And this applies to all of you, regardless of how much you've sold. It doesn't matter to me if you've sold 5 million or if you've not sold anything. This is how you scale. We're always looking for other ways to get better, to grow, to do things that will increase our revenue. But if you really want to bring it down to brass tacks, all you have to do is more of what you're doing. You don't have to go to the other side. You don't have to switch from retail to wholesale. If you're doing wholesale, you don't have to go to private label. That's not how you expand. You expand by sending in more SKUs, more ASINs, and more inventory. Once you get good at a thing, get better at that thing. Don't try to figure out another thing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just do more of it. And the more of it you do, the better you'll get. And the better you get, the more of it you'll do. And so again, I feel like sometimes we're always chasing this brass ring. Like, I really want to get into wholesale because I'll get invoices and I'll get ungated. But there's a whole host of challenges that come with wholesale. Just because you get an invoice doesn't even mean you get ungated. So you bought $1,000 worth of inventory and it doesn't guarantee you get ungated. The other thing to keep in mind, and I appreciate Scott made a post about websites that provide ungating. Just FYI, this is against Amazon policy, Scott. To share we can't do it, and we don't want you to do it. It's against Amazon policy to talk specifically about a wholesaler just because they give an invoice to get ungated. That's not what Amazon wants, and we have to stay clean. Also, you need to keep in mind that, and I know that this doesn't logically make sense, but it is, none of what Amazon does logically makes sense. And that is that because I use an invoice to get ungated does not mean Amazon will ungate you with the exact same invoice. It isn't just about the invoice. It's about your seller performance. It's about your IPI score. It's about all things related to the health of your Amazon account. So if your Amazon account is not healthy, it doesn't matter where the invoice is from. So I want to just be very conscious about that. And look, this is a business. So if you want to get into wholesale, find a wholesaler. If you want to do retail, find a retailer. But it's up to you to do that. It's not up to us to give you, it's not up to you to share it with each other. And I would strongly encourage you not to do that. Because if Amazon catches on, what they do is they end up gating you for items you were ungated for, or they just shut everyone down that is doing the same thing from the same people. Amazon is much smarter than we think they are. And if we don't play that game, then we just keep our accounts safe. I've seen it happen often and way too many times where a good idea makes a lot of logical sense, turns into a nightmare for the people that are participating in it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So these are the things that you should be thinking about. How can you scale? How can you grow? You can do it by continuing to do more. Now, if you're new and everything seems to be ungated, by the way, which it's not, then you just need to look at more items. I mean, it's really, really simple. If you do not have Bolo AI. You need to get it if you're looking for product. All of the feedback that I have received from Bolo AI has been nothing short of spectacular in terms of the opportunities and in terms of the deals. And Bolo AI is not the same thing as Bolo deals. It's a different technology that finds the deals. And it's all AI. It's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. We're now analyzing, as of this morning, more than 150,000 deals just to find the Bolo AI deals for this week. So Bolo AI is on another level of product sourcing. The elite and elite members or anyone who subscribes gets 40 deals a week. And if you're a pro member, you get 80 deals a week for the same $99 subscription. It is in beta. I can tell you that it will be out of beta much sooner than I expected. It's coming along at breakneck speed. In fact, our developer who's building it with us is so excited about this product that he's put even more resources into the creation of it and the building of it than we ever expected. It's getting those kinds of results. It's $99 a month. You get, at the low level, you get 40 deals a week. So that's 320 deals for $99. If you can't make $99 back for 320 deals from Bolo AI, I'm telling you that's a different issue. It's not Bolo AI. Don't take that the wrong way. Don't take it personally, because far be it for me to ever be critical or pick on anyone. I would never do that. But I want to make sure you understand that all the deals are random. So if so many people are finding so many phenomenal deals and you're not, it isn't the deals. You have to understand that. There's too many commonalities amongst all of that. So that's what I wanted to share with you here today. I'm happy to take some questions and see if anybody has any thoughts, comments, input, feedback on this topic or any other topic. If you do, I'd love to hear about it. If not, that is good. Christopher Price says, Bolo AI does much of your reverse engineering. It just saves you more time and more time. Great stuff. And I'm glad, Christopher, that you are happy with it and excited about it. And the more people use it, I think what happens is sometimes people say, oh, another $100 a month. Like, I just keep spending all this money and I'm not making any money. And that's how business works, folks. You have to keep investing. You have to keep doing. You have to keep putting in. Every day you have to eat. That's fuel for your body. And the more fuel you put in, the better your body runs. And the more quality the food, the better your body runs. Everybody understands that if you have a high performance sports car, you put the best gas in, but your most performing sports car is your own self, and yet we neglect it. And we do the same thing with our business. Any tool that's going to get you out more than you put in, you need to put in, and you just figure it out. And when you see how it works, you understand why it's so powerful. So I'm going to head up to the top and see if anybody has any questions. Let's take a quick peek here. Please feel free to post anything you'd like to talk about. If anything, I'll keep it going here for just a couple of minutes. We've had some very interesting questions posted in the Facebook group this week. I've done my best to refrain from answering them. I think sometimes it's better if I don't do that. However, I would love to see if anybody has any questions here for me this morning. When you think about what you want and why it's important to you that you're successful, we have the most powerful community of Amazon sellers in the world. Between Corinne and Preston and Carl and Morella and Camille and Kim and William, the support team is extraordinary. The prep center is humming in all cylinders right now. I mean, the speed in which items are coming in and going out is extraordinary. And the technology continues to get better and better and better. This opportunity that you all have is phenomenal. And I'm just very excited for you to go to that next level. And I think this is going to be a breakthrough time for so many of you that are going through the fourth quarter for the very first time to be able to see what that looks like. So it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of questions for me. I'll stick around for another minute or two. We got a lot of people on today, and a lot of people have said good morning, so I'll say good morning back to you. But what I'd love to do is see if anybody has any questions that you have for me, and if not, that's okay too. We've got this session here every Saturday, so you can think about your questions, you can post your questions, and of course we'll always get back to you. Cheryl, good morning. Cheryl says, I'm having an issue with matching SKUs, but I only see UPC on products at retailers and those matched photos match, but I get stopped in listed products by UPCs. I'm not really sure what you're saying, Cheryl. When an item is listed on Amazon, the person who lists that item, if it's listed properly, is supposed to use the UPC code. However, when you're buying something online from a retailer, 95% of the time you don't have a UPC code. So you don't need to match it up with the UPC code. You just need to look at the title, look at the description, and look at the pictures and make sure it's the same item. If the UPC code doesn't match, then the seller who listed it used a different UPC code. The fact of the matter is that the UPC code is going to be covered by your FNSKU anyway. So I really wouldn't worry too much about that part. I would just make sure that the item you're listing is the same item that is being sold. Somebody made a comment this week that the customer was supposed to get one size of an item and they got a different size. How could that happen? Well, it could happen because the wrong item was sent to the prep center, which was then sent to Amazon. So you have to make sure that it's an exact match, and then you'll be there. The prep center doesn't do anything with SKUs, Cheryl. If you list an item, the prep center prints it and sends it in. That's all that happens. The prep center doesn't list your items. The prep center doesn't do anything with SKUs. It's not how the prep center works. All the prep center does is take your plan, print the labels, and send them to Amazon. Now, if the prep center catches a mistake that you've made by sending in the wrong item, they may notify you. They're not supposed to do that. That's a courtesy to you that they're doing that. They're just simply to print the labels, print the FNSKUs, and send them in. So that's the way that works. Tamara says, when you sign up for Bolo AI, do regular Bolo deals automatically stop? They do not, Tamara. Bolo deals have nothing to do with Bolo AI deals. So if you're getting Bolo deals, 20, 40, whatever's coming into your account every week, those don't change. When you get Bolo AI, which is a separate subscription, you get more deals every week, either 40 deals a week or 80 deals a week, unrelated. They're not the same deals that are the Bolo deals. They don't overlap with each other. So you're not going to see the same deals in the Bolo deals that you'll see in Bolo AI. Okay? Excellent. So Scott, I'm not sure what you meant by no, it does not. I have no idea what you're talking about. It looks like whatever comment you made, you deleted. I'm not sure, but if you have a question or a comment, please feel free to post it. I'd be happy to address it and answer it for you. But I am pretty confident that I'm familiar with how the prep center works. Pretty sure I know the process. So the items come in, we receive them in the system, we print your FNSKUs, we sticker your items, we put them in the box, we print the labels, and they go off to Amazon. The prep center should not, even though they sometimes do, verify that the item you sent in matches the ASIN. That's your job. That's not the prep center's job, to double check your work. The prep center's job is to prep and send. That's it. If they do more than that and they catch something for you, I would send them a thank you card. But that is not their responsibility to do that. Excellent. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions that I can answer for you? Any questions on Bolo AI or Prep Center or inventory or the holidays or the deadlines or anything of that nature? I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to stick around for another 1 to 2 minutes. You guys are awesome. It's a beautiful Saturday here in in Boca. It's about 91 degrees with 100% humidity, exactly the way that I like it, which is just perfect. It's just perfect. Some people don't like it hot and humid. I like it when it's hot, and I like when it's humid. So with that being said, I'll give you another 1 minute or so and see if anybody's got any questions for us. I love this time of the year, by the way. It's really, really powerful because of what happens to your business. If you plan it properly and you prepare for what's coming, the end result is going to blow you away. It always does, especially when it is your first time through. So it doesn't look like there's any other questions. So I'll just say thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you participating in today's event. Let's see. So Stacy says that I listed an item, I received double check marks, but received an email from the prep center saying it was gated. Okay. That's possibly because the item is hazmat or the item is meltable. It doesn't necessarily mean it's restricted that you can't list it. It probably means that it can't be shipped FBA. So if it's an aerosol, if it's a battery, if it's hazmat, that means that it's listed and it means it's not gated. It just means it's restricted from being sent into Amazon. I don't know what the ASIN is or the number, but what you have to all understand is that whatever errors that the prep center tells you they receive, those errors come directly from Amazon. The prep center is not making up the errors. Your account is connected to your Amazon seller account. So any error message that you see or any message the prep center sees comes directly from Amazon, and all they're doing is sharing that with you. So it's likely that that is the issue with why those items can't be sent in, although I'm not familiar with your item, so I couldn't really tell you what the answer is. So thanks everybody for being here. Have a great finish to your week. You have just a few weeks left to get your items in to capitalize on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's going to be huge this year. This year will be the single biggest holiday shopping season in the history of the internet, which makes it the biggest holiday shopping season in the history of Amazon. So that's all I wanted to tell you today, folks. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.